What is going on, fishy friends? My name is Rich, these are some of my fishes, and you're watching Rich's Fishes. So if you've ever watched my channel in the past, you might have seen my fish room before. However, I haven't made a video in quite a long time. I'm sure a lot of people are wondering why.
Yeah, why?
Myself included, I don't really have a good answer. But I decided it's time to get back to making videos. I want everyone to see the fish room again, and I want to talk a little bit about what's been going on in my absence. That's right, I think I'm back, at least for now. We'll see. But the fish room is still up and running. I will admit there was a period of time where I was very neglectful in here. Past couple of years have been interesting, I suppose. After COVID happened, the old company I used to work for closed down. I opened my own company, and throughout that time the fish room took a hit. I wasn't able to spend as much time down here as necessary. I was very neglectful. I do have auto water change systems set up. I'll show some of that. I'm stepping on something here. I'll show some of that a little later on. But the water changes were taken care of, but overall I was very neglectful. Even with my auto water change system, I do still have to manually remove detritus and gravel vac and things like that. And there was just a long time where there was a whole lot of neglect going on down here. And earlier this year I made a decision. I decided that I was either A, going to shut down the fish room, or B, I was going to figure out a way to devote the time to really succeed down here. I figure I feel like I've been kind of going through the motions, but I never really felt successful in the fish room. And what do I mean by that? Well, one of the goals I had always set out to do down here was to successfully breed fish. German blue rams specifically, discus, angelfish, bristlenose plecos, different epistogramma. There's lots of different species that I really enjoy keeping. And my goal was always to have this fish room be a breeding room, essentially. I wanted to breed fish, I wanted to sell fish, and I have had very little success in the past breeding. I've had a few successful spawns here and there, but I never really got the long-term progress and the long-term success that I had hoped to do and I had set out to do. And I had all the systems in place. This fish room has 43 tanks in it. I've got more than enough water space. I don't have a lot of physical space. This room is very tight.
Like a tiger.
My ceiling is only about 7 feet tall. I can just barely get 3 tanks on top of each other if I really try. I think over here I might even have 4, but it doesn't leave much in the way of room for any maintenance when you put 4 tanks high in a room that's only about 7 feet tall. But like I said, I do have all the things in place. Here's my fry rack. All the things in place I need for a successful fish room, and I just wasn't finding the time to create that success. So like I said, I made a decision earlier this year. Come the beginning of 2025, I decided I was either going to shut down the fish room or find the time to get back in here. I also thought about maybe converting a couple of tanks to salt water. Over here, I've got a 60-gallon tank over a 75-gallon tank, and I thought of maybe making the 60-gallon over here a display saltwater tank with a 75-gallon sump beneath it. I opted not to do that. That tank has been housing some angelfish for a long time, but I opted not to do that. And I opted to continue with my original plan down here, which was to breed a lot of different freshwater fish. So like I said, beginning of the year, I set myself a goal, and I decided if I'm not successful by the end of this year, maybe then I'll reconsider shutting down the fish room. But for now, I decided to devote the time into what needs to be done to successfully operate a fish room of this size. It is a lot of work. I suppose I still find it hard to find the time to make it down here and do the work that's necessary to do every day. But I am making it happen, and we are starting to have some success. So hopefully I'm not going to have to shut down the fish room. Well, let's take a look around and see what's going on. We'll focus on some of the successes first. I've been breeding these silver gold marble angels. There's a whole bunch of adults that have been growing out in this tank for quite a long time now. Similarly in this tank below. Whole lot of adults that have been growing out for a while. I've developed some breeding pairs in here. There's a pair right now with some wigglers on the cone. And the camera won't focus on them, of course. Oh, well, I promise, there's wigglers there. And I've got a ton of juvenile angelfish that have been growing out for a little while now. Some of one of the first batches are over here right now. And all of these fish, by the way, are for sale on Aquabid. If you've never used Aquabid, it's an online auction site similar to eBay, specifically for the buying and selling of various aquarium fish and aquarium supplies. So go look for riches_fishes on Aquabid if you're interested in trying to purchase some of these angelfish. Right now, those are the only things big enough for sale. But we got a few more batches of angels growing out over here in my fry system. Some angels there. Some angels here. And these guys are all going to be going up for sale shortly. I am selling them locally on Craigslist.
Come on, Craigslist!
And as far as anything outside of that, like I said, look for riches_fishes over on Aquabid. Start bidding some of these fish up, enable me to continue doing what I'm doing here in the fish room, keep on going. Other than the angelfish, I've also had some success breeding the German blue rams, which again, my favorite fish. And that's what I'm really hoping to get working with as far as a breeding program in here and really start cranking out some German blue rams. But here are some of my grow outs right now. Above them are some of the slightly younger ones. As well as in this tank next to them. This one is also rams. This one is empty. This one here is some very young angelfish fry who are enjoying some baby brine shrimp 2 or 3 times a day. And this is my fry setup, which is a recirculating system. All these tanks recirculate into a single homemade sump, which is just one of these Rubbermaid containers down here. I'm sure you've seen something similar, but the water recirculates. I can control the flow at each tank, can increase or decrease. I also run a sponge filter in every tank. And that's my fry setup. And I know, you've all seen somebody different who has a different setup than me, and I should do it that way. This is what works for me. I've had this set up for quite a long time. I invested in this system many years ago, slowly but surely put some of it together. Built this rack where everything fits. It all works on this recirculating system like I've discussed. Everything else in my fish room is non-recirculating. Nothing shares the same water. Everything uses individual sponge filters. There's some more tanks back here that we've never set up yet. Well, not that we've never set up, never gotten wet. They've been set up back there for quite a while. Talk about that another time. Here's a look down this end of the fish room. I got to stand back here behind the water heater and the furnace. And then we started in the other corner of the fish room. We'll show some more of that some other time. But anyway, guys, what do you think? Should I keep making videos? Am I back for good? Comment, rate, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Look for riches_fishes selling fish on Aquabid. Leave me a comment, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. See you later.